I'm delighted to be speaking with Denise Shrivell, and we're going to have a look at the topic of online advertising. Hello, Denise.
Hi, Robert. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So we're going at this from a slightly different perspective today, in that it's not so much advertising your business online, but let's assume that we have an internet presence, we have a website, and we think we can actually start to run some ads on our website to create some revenue. Yeah?
That's right. I don't think you need to be what we would term a traditional media business in this day and age to attract an audience and therefore be able to provide a platform to an advertiser to reach that audience.
So for a number of people watching this, I think they've got a website. I think, well, yes, I've got a fair bit of traffic. I like the thought of running some ads and making some money. It's not that easy, though, is it? What do we need to be thinking about? How do we get started in this whole thing?
I think that thought of saying, what are my potential revenue streams, and is advertising a potential revenue stream for me, is a really great thing to be thinking of. Yeah. And no, it's not easy. And if anything, it's getting harder. Okay. Just as people's viewing habits are changing online. Of course, mobile is now with us. Yep. There's a lot of change in the industry, to say the least. I think in the internet industry, it's finally been realised that there is unlimited inventory available. Right. So that's really put a lot of cost pressure on the currency of online advertising.
So what it can be to some businesses is it can be a nice little kind of additional stream of income.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And that's certainly something that I would recommend also, is not to put all your eggs in one advertising basket, so to speak, and really look at diversifying your revenue streams, whether that be non-advertising related or indeed advertising related.
Okay. So if we're thinking of getting started in advertising, what are the kind of key considerations? What do we need to be looking at?
I think the first key consideration is really looking at your target market and your competitive market and your position within that market. So really working out whether you can build a compelling proposition that advertisers will want to be involved in. Okay. So really looking at the market that you reach, looking at competitors in that market, and really, can you reach enough audience or numbers to be able to build your case to advertisers? Okay.
And presumably this is all about targeting, isn't it? The more kind of unique we can be in the offering that we have and the offering that we put to advertisers, the more likely it is that we'll create some revenue from it.
Look, that's exactly right. If you can own a niche, yep, then that really allows you to build your story for advertisers and allows you to provide a unique platform for advertisers to reach their objectives and to reach their audiences. Okay, so
let's say we've kind of got our head around that quite well. We know about the targeting, we're clearly working in a niche. What other things do we need to be thinking about?
The other things, we've touched a little bit on diversifying revenue streams, and I think that that's a really important thing to do. So diversifying revenue streams, both considering non-advertising related revenue streams, but there's also an enormous number of ways that you can diversify revenue streams within the broader advertising umbrella. Okay.
So what's an example of a non-advertising revenue stream?
A non-advertising revenue stream can be things like you might have merchandise for sale, you might do seminars, events, and things like that. You might do some retail. Yep. So things like that I would regard as non-advertising. Okay. But within the broader advertising umbrella, I mean, Google has made junior moguls out of all of us. Right. We can all through Google get even a small amount of money by running something as easy as Google AdWords. Yeah. Okay. We can then step up to something like a more affiliate-based program or a performance-based program where you might get a payment every time someone clicks or responds or purchases a product. That would be more affiliate type advertising.
So there's clearly then a lot of opportunities, a lot of different ways of doing things. I guess, would you say that the best thing to do is just to kind of dive in and get started? Is that the best way to approach it?
I don't think the best way to approach is to dive in and get started. Okay. Sometimes I wish it was, Robert. Again, coming back to really looking at what your position in your target market is. I need to build a compelling story for advertising buyers. Yep. Certainly, the dive-in aspect might be there a little bit with Google AdWords and some of the more affiliate-based.
So you can do that to get a foot in the water.
You can do that to put your foot in the water. That's all quite an automatic process. Yep. So that's quite easy to implement. But once we get into the higher levels of advertising, such as if you want to specifically sell a banner ad to an advertiser or a position on your newsletter to an advertiser, that's when it's really important, I think, to look at aspects like the processes that you sell under.
Sure.
How are you?
You've got to know what you're doing.
You've got to know what you're doing.
And be able to give good reporting and all of those things.
Good reporting. I mean, it literally, online advertising is well known in the industry as being a very labour-intensive process. So everything you can do within your business to really minimise that effort and that process is really helpful. And that can be things like having a really well-written media kit, having your processes sorted out, such as your booking forms, your availability sheets, knowing what your traffic is.
Doesn't sound like passive income then?
Once you get to a level above the automatic opportunities such as Google, such as some of the affiliate advertising opportunities, then yes, it can become quite a labour-intensive process, but the rewards are also there.
The rewards are there. Denise, thank you so much for joining us. Now, I know if we want to find out more about you and the business that you run, where you indeed are kind of a bit of a portal for people that have a number of alternative advertising offerings, so a good place for people to have a look and maybe a good place for people to kind of list their businesses. Where do we go to see that?
You go to mediascope.com.au.
Okay, mediascope.com.au. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.